Hey y'all, it's your girl Janelle Evelyn, and welcome to the Safe Space. Coming to you this fine Sunday, just a really beautiful weekend, connecting with my loves. It just felt good. But I was doing some journaling earlier. Oh, I got my little cup of tea. Oh, what an appropriate mug. Be a nice hearer. One of the things that I have to work on every day is resentment, because I start to think back on certain events or experiences or even relationships, and I get frustrated with myself because I'll think, oh, if I had the gumption I had now, I would have responded differently. Oh my goodness, if I knew to think in this way then, and it wouldn't have been that outcome. They'd have had some hell to pay with that, right? Just to go back to that has to do with ego. And those are two of the things. This book, people have various opinions. Hey, I always say, take what you need from something, and if you don't need anything, don't take it from anyone else. A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. And if you want to check him out, he is often on Super Soul Sundays with Oprah. And I just love his insight. But two of the most significant lessons that the most significant things that I work on daily are my pain body and my ego. Because my need to respond, my need to explain, my need to involve myself is often ego-based, and that's with most people. Another thing that occurs around ego is how it can fuel resentment. My need to have expressed myself, my need to have been right in a situation, or for another person to be wrong. And I buttoned that down. I shut it down, and it fueled resentment. But while journaling, I started to think about a lot of the female relationships that I have or even had in past tense. And I realized that most of my past relationships that don't exist, or the ones that I am currently examining to bid farewell to, had to do with my vulnerability being mishandled. And it was my mishandling. People will invite you into a space of vulnerability and have you trust that they are a safe space for you, that they are taking the time to relate and understand, and in some situations even assist you on your journey where you need it. But the thing that I've realized in a lot of my relationships that have now gone defunct, or the ones that I just had to put barriers between currently, are people who have attempted to make me into a project based on me trusting them with my vulnerability. And sometimes it takes a dip in the past to remind you of who you are and what you've persevered through, and the things that you have stood 10 toes down in. And you realize that come what may, you always push through. But along the way, right, as we go through things, we meet people and they pivot in a way, open a space that says, come here, lay down your burdens. You can trust me. You can share your experiences, your worries. You can talk to me. And you do that, and then you become a pet. Sometimes when we trust people with our vulnerability, they turn it into a leash. This is one of the reasons why women struggle so much to connect. In a lot of situations, there was a level of trust established, and then it was fractured, where there was this level of expectation established. This person presented themselves as someone I can pour into. We pour back. We're going to reciprocate this. Where I've noticed the fail points is when your power starts to activate, when you are no longer the lowly friend, the weepy person, the one with the significant issues, always in need of advice or hanging on to the coattails. As you start to elevate, you're excited, right? And you are just so grateful for the people who poured into you. But you start to rise, right? Where you see them, where you perceive them to be, is here. They've carried you, they've held you down, they've poured life and insight into you, they've given you some really good tools, right? You start to apply them among other things, and you make parallels, and you make an alignments, and here you come. Instead of seeing you here, there's a constant battle with the scales of them trying to put you back down where they're used to seeing you. And the more you push up, and it's, no, I'm rising. This is where you said I'm supposed to be, right? This is the space that you said, hey, you're there, and I can come in, and I can have a seat at your table. I can sit with you. And you come in, they're locking the door. Ain't no table, ain't no chairs for you. You don't belong here. And there are things that these individuals will do to give you those constant reminders of who you were and why you don't belong, when you trusted them with your desire for growth and wanting to evolve and to be a different person, a better person. And they take that and play with it. During this period since I've been home, and during the past 2 months, it's been one of the most vulnerable periods of my life. And I was really mindful about access. I didn't want a whole bunch of people around me. I didn't want a whole bunch of people really privy to what was going on with me because of that. But I noticed that in this period, there have been people who were in positions that could have really assisted me. Some of them even mentioned it to me, but could have really assisted me. So I thought God knew different. You know, I thought I needed that. But God knew different, that you didn't need that or that opportunity. I got something different for you. But in the meantime, while I'm in here, you know, trying to figure and worrying, there have been a number of people who don't have necessary labels in my life. They're just people that I trusted at some point, who had access to opportunity and never sent it my way. But you think so highly of me, and yet your actions show different. What I've realized is I am extremely powerful. And I realized that in this period, over the past year, my power has activated to a level that even takes my breath away. I don't have the time or the energy for the conversations. I'm not willing to make accommodations in my space for explanations. I'm just taking the leash from around my neck. Everyone in my life, near and far, is exactly where they are supposed to be right now. Some are in transit. Some are coming in, getting settled, and others are going out, and I'm not mad about it at all. Take that leash from around your neck. There is a such thing as pity pimps. And it has to do with whatever they got dark and brewing and murky all up inside of them, but they need to be validated in your pain, and they seek validation in your struggle, and they approach with doe eyes and open arms and good intention. Don't let anyone catch you up in their chaos because they're trying to make you a project, because they don't have anything better to do. The work that they are pretending to pour into you is actually the work that they need to put into themselves. And what I hope you get out of this video is not bitterness. I'm hoping that 2022 is the year of reciprocity for you, just as it is for me. I am giving exactly what I receive. I'm matching all levels, because no matter how much they were here and said, you know, you can come on up, and I keep coming up and they keep doing this, I'll have them know that Janelle is here. And that's exactly where I plan to stay. In love, in light, reflecting, deflecting, breathing in, breathing out, inhaling and exhaling. That's where I am. Please realize your power. We lean so heavy upon others that I often have to say to myself, girl, you better lean in, because within me is where God resides. Before I go out and trust someone to lead me down dark alleys, I'm going to go ahead and walk into the light with God. And that's it. You know, I'm so thankful for my tribe and the people who are in place. And I'm thankful for the ones that I have the common sense to know don't belong nowhere up in my life, nowhere in my space. And I welcome in my home. And that's all I got on that. Have a good night. Peace.